So Sham, I want to open my next restaurant, and how can I make sure it doesn't fail, and I don't fail, and that nobody fails? And this is what we're going to be covering in three, two, one, and here we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Sham, known in the industry as the responsible restaurant owner. I've been opening and helping other people open restaurants out of the Silicon Valley, California, for the last 10 years. So in this video, I'm going to be covering 5 mistakes that lots of restaurant owners do make. The first one, they do not expect to get so busy when they first open. Guess what, gang? You have been working on your restaurant, building it, repainting, whatever you have been doing for at least a month or two. And guess what? People have been driving by. The buzz has been going on about your restaurant. When you're going to open your doors, you are going to get slammed. And that is the way to establish the reputation of your restaurant. The second thing, that's the reason why so many different restaurants fail, and one of their biggest mistakes is that they forget their why. They have the wrong why most of the time. Most of the time when you ask restaurant owners, especially the young ones, the ones that are not seasoned, they're like, oh Sham, I just want to have a good time. No rush, buddy. You're going to have a lot of a good time. It's an amazing industry surrounded by food and entertainment and people having a good time. So that is definitely part of the equation. You need to figure out what your why is. Is it to make the community a better place? Is it to open a second location? Keep your eyes on the ball and do not get distracted by all the glamour that's going to come automatically with the business. Third, they do not stick to the basics, and the basics is, instead of thinking about the next trend and being distracted, is realize that there is 3 reasons for the success of any restaurant. One of them is good food. Consistently good food. And I do know, chef, your ego gets hurt when somebody tells you that your dishes suck, but you need to be able to listen to your audience. If you hear it once in a while, no problem, but if you consistently hear that a dish is not up to par, do not get too emotionally attached to it. Remove it and put a dish that people are gonna like. It is your reputation that is on the line. The second thing to keep a good restaurant running is actually, after the good food, good service. You're going to tell me, Sham, obviously, but since it's amazing how many restaurants do not have a proper sequence of service. You are working so hard at putting this establishment together, establishing its reputation, and creating incentives, sometimes at a very high cost, to bring people in. Do you have a script in place? Do you know exactly what your waiters are saying to your guests, or leaving it up at the mercy of whatever they want to say? So you need to have a script, a sequence of service, and proper training. There is nothing wrong with implementing a script. Guess what? The waiter is going to take on a role of being a waiter. They are not a waiter 24/7, and you need to be able to teach them that. Lots of you guys tell me, Sham, oh my gosh, implementing a script, I don't know if I should be doing that. Well, guess what? You should, because otherwise you're going to lose your business. You know, you want to make sure that you maximize sales and increase guest satisfaction. And it is by doing a script that you're going to be able to enforce that. You're going to turn it into a consistent and a repeatable process. You're going to make everybody be able to say the same thing. It's going to be easier to audit. And guess what? Your guests are going to start to feel more comfortable coming back, because they're going to be able to know what to expect. Now, whenever you try to implement a script, you go through 3 phases. One of them is robotic. The second one, your waiters start to get comfortable with it. And phase 3 is then they start giving their own personal twist to it, and there is nothing wrong with that. So we talked about good food, we talked about good service, and the third one is a good corporate culture. You need to have good corporate culture. A lots of restaurants out there do not have a proper corporate culture, meaning that you do not create an incentive or an excitement or a program for your team to be excited to be there. So waiters, most of the time, they go into a restaurant and they do not look good. They don't look like they're happy to be there. And that has to do with the onboarding process that you have for your team. If your employees are going to come and represent your brand, they need to be excited about it more than you actually. And the way you communicate that is through proper training, regular training, and once again, the script. So those are the 3 recipes in my book in order for you to be able to have a successful operation. Now, another thing that a lot of restaurant owners do wrong is they do not have consistent and repeatable processes, and I just covered that, meaning that every time there is a situation, they have to think ahead of time. Okay, how should I handle it? Guess what? Whenever you come across a situation, you learn how to get it solved and done right. And you have everybody approach the same situation the same way. It's going to allow people to get comfortable with those systems. It's going to become once again robotic, and after that they're going to start to become more comfortable in it. By having consistent and repeatable process, it's going to allow you to speed up the learning curve. And something that your waiters and yourself were able to do in 5 minutes, you're going to be able to drop it to 4 minutes, 3 minutes. And guess what? In those 2 extra minutes that you save, you're going to be able to acquire more skills, take on more responsibilities, and that is how you build the team. So that was my take on the mistake that most of the restaurant owners do. I hope it was helpful to you. Once again, my name is Sham, the responsible restaurant owner. On the bottom of this message, I have a checklist I would love to send you, which are 20-step points on how to open and run your first successful restaurant. Take advantage of it. And once again, remember, the secret ingredient is love.